When we come back, we'll take you into the secret world of restroom gay sex. I think these demonstrators are all into restroom gay sex.
Put him up.
Remember the good old days when it was Homer Simpson who taught parents how to talk to their kids about bullying?
Let me help you dry those tears.
Somewhere along the line, it looks like parents dumped that job on the schools. Just outside San Francisco, in Alameda County, it looks like kids will be learning the 4 R's this year: reading, writing, arithmetic, and re-education. A vocal group of gay couples is pushing lesson number 9, a so-called anti-bullying lesson plan that will teach kids in kindergarten through 5th grade about LGBT, or lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender lifestyles.
I am a gay dad. I've been with my partner for 15 years, and we've raised both of our children since birth. We needed to address the issues of harassment, and we needed to address the issues of visibility, and the district answered that call.
Alameda Unified School District is acting appropriately in response to both anecdotal knowledge and data that anti-LGBT harassment does occur in our schools, as it does in other schools across the state and country.
Remember, this is about kindergarten through 5th grade. After this meeting, we asked Assistant Superintendent Sherratt to provide that data she referenced on LGBT bullying. In an email, she replied, quote, "I have referred you to the district's legal counsel. It is appropriate that she respond." We're still waiting for that response. What we do know is out of the 140,000 schools in this country, from kindergarten through college, the FBI documented 135 bias incidents based on sexual orientation in 2007. But none of these 135 incidents are specific to grades K through 5. And Fox News reporting did not find any data evidencing bias incidents based on sexual orientation at the elementary school level in 2007 or in any other year.
The LGBT, I classified in the new bullies on the block. The school is not there to teach my child the social issues of life. That's my job. The problem is, there's a group of adults who are trying to superimpose their ideology on some children instead of just preparing teachers how to handle bullying or how to handle offensive language.
So why have LGBT groups moved to the head of the class? Fox News cameras were in Alameda to capture over 10 hours of heated public debate. On one side, angry parents.
And they said, "Ooh, your mom's a lesbian. Lesbian, lesbian, your mom's a lesbian." And she said, "I didn't know what they meant, but I just felt really sad, and I went and sat by myself."
I'm 16, a sophomore at Alameda Community Learning Center, an avid fantasy role player, a metalhead, and a homosexual. I have been harassed by other students in my classes and even began to consider to just stop trying in school and to just give up on life.
On the other side, more angry parents.
My child has been the product of bullying because she's black. She has never viewed a single video in the classroom like Eyes on the Prize, the history of the Buffalo Soldiers, or African-American women writers from the 19th century. However, I am not requiring Alameda Unified School District, who is already strapped for cash, to incorporate these changes because I know how to successfully parent, educate, and instill value and self-worth in my child.
You are choosing a book, and Tango Makes Three, that for 3 years in a row from the American Library Association, and again, libraries are choices, was the most challenged book.
It's about 2 gay penguins who raise a baby penguin, and they live happily ever after. And so again, nothing in this book about bullying or harassment, all about 2 male penguins. And the kids with traditional values are the ones that are considered, you know, bullies, and no one's there to advocate for them.
So how did the school board vote on the curriculum change?
Member Spencer?
Oppose.
Member Tam?
Yes.
Member McMahon?
Oppose.
Member Jensen?
Yes.
Member Mooney?
Yes.
And the LGBT side has it, 3-2. In a state that ranked third from the bottom in 2007 in fourth grade reading scores, Alameda's second grade students will be required to read Tango Makes Three. And by third grade, watch That's a Family.
They're the best dads ever.
The idea that they want to force this on children and parents and not even allow parents to opt their children out proves there's an agenda and they want to force this down these young kids' throats.
I spent 3 years as a volunteer at Franklin Elementary School. I experienced in those 3 years dealing with 40 kindergartners calling each other by a lot of different slurs, including the gay slurs that Ms. England says is just an agenda. It's not just an agenda, it was a need to keep the students safe.
What did you do to stop it? What did you do to stop it? Did you enforce the current school policy?
Let me finish my statement.
What did you do to stop the slurs?
I dealt with that as a Christian.
I'm very excited about going home and kissing my boys and telling them that we have had a victory tonight.
And the school board should be ashamed of itself when not only does it vote to approve such a measure, but funds it in order to vote for it.
This battle isn't over yet. 11 states around the country now have bullying laws that include sexual orientation. That means that this scene in Alameda will be replayed in schools across the country.
And here's the thing that Sean Penn and his fellow leftists in Hollywood do not and cannot understand. Gay marriage is not a civil rights issue. And the reason why it's not a civil rights issue is this. If he would just open a book and read once, he would understand this fact, because it goes back for 2,000 years in Western civilization. Marriage is not about feeling good. Marriage is a sacred act between a man and a woman to have children. Marriage has been the institution, the bedrock institution, by which generation to generation we further the human race, and we have been able to build from one generation to another. It is the primary mechanism by which one generation passes on to another generation. If we have gay marriage, if we destroy the institution of the nuclear family, we not only have moral anarchy, but in the end, we have civilizational death and destruction. A civilization with homosexuals is a dead civilization, who go on about somehow this homosexual movement and this gay rights movement being somehow on the cutting edge of societal evolution. They should look at ancient Rome. They should look at ancient Greece. Because we are now in this country replicating everything that was done for hundreds of years in Rome and Greece, and it led to their destruction and their disintegration. Homosexuality, polygamy, rampant sex and promiscuity, an obsession with fame and glamour and glory. Where Rome once bestrode the world like a colossus, producing patriots, it ended up giving bread and circuses, and the population eventually died because it no longer cared for Rome, it no longer wished to defend Rome. We no longer have bread and circuses. What we have instead is big government and Hollywood. That is our entertainment. And what you saw in Hollywood with the Academy Awards were the shock troops of a cultural revolution for the last 30 years. And Michael, you often talk about fascism on your show, you often talk about communism on your show, and you're right. The evils of fascism and communism should never be forgotten, because there are many in Washington who are putting us on the very same road that we have seen with 20th century dictators. But the greatest revolutionary of the 20th century, ironically, was not Adolf Hitler, nor was it even Lenin and his Bolsheviks. It was Hugh Hefner and the Playboy philosophy. Because Hugh Hefner, when he created that smut magazine Playboy, he didn't just create a pornographic magazine. He created a new philosophy. He created what he called openly the Playboy philosophy, which can be boiled down to one principle. If it feels good, do it. And in the pages of Playboy, you saw year after year, decade after decade, starting in the 1960s, championing the sexual revolution, personal liberation, the attack on the family, the defense of gay rights, the defense of bisexuality, the defense of the, quote, transgender community. In other words, every perversion known to man came out of Playboy magazine and out of the pornographic culture that it spawned.